Relax and let me tell you a story in the quietest way.
The story begins in the year 1986 in the small and quiet town of Pepperell, Massachusetts. The Bowen family, a father, Frank, and his two daughters, they were facing a terror in their home that was more frightening than any ghost. Because initially, they thought their house was haunted. But the truth was far more heinous than that. The story began with some ordinary yet strange incidents. Things kept in the house started moving from their places. Sometimes milk would disappear from the fridge. Sometimes TV channels would change on their own. And sometimes, in the silence of the night, they felt as if someone was walking in their home's basement. But whenever Frank checked, there was no one there, just a cold silence. The atmosphere of fear intensified. Strange messages began appearing on the walls, written in blood-like red ink, reading, "I am in your room, and you cannot find me." This convinced the family that there was an evil presence. They even called in paranormal experts. However, they did not know that this shadow was not a spirit, but a 17-year-old boy named Daniel LaPlante, who had been hidden in plain sight for the past several months. Daniel had actually built a small, secret room for himself in the hollow space between the walls. He would emerge from behind a kitchen cabinet, sit inside the walls all day listening to the family's conversations, watch them bathe, and when they fell asleep, he would come out to eat their food and move their furniture to drive them insane. The limit was reached when one evening Frank saw someone in his daughter's room, a creature that did not look human at all. He had painted his face with Native American war paint, wearing women's clothes, and in his hand a hatchet. At that moment, the family felt that a devil was standing before them. Frank gathered the courage to call the police, but when the police arrived, the boy had vanished into thin air. The house was completely locked with no way out. The police were baffled. But the real terrifying twist came later. One of the police officers noticed that a wall in the house seemed hollow. There was a small door-like hole concealed by wallpaper. When they opened it, out came Daniel LaPlante, wearing face paint, sitting crouched inside the walls and smiling. The investigation revealed that he had been living there for months. He had the family's stolen items, food, and even their photographs. And the most terrifying part is that when the family was sleeping fearlessly at night, he would stand by their beds and watch them for hours. They had no idea that the ghost they were afraid of was actually a living human running through the veins of their house.